This is Charlie, sometime in the early 80s. And this is Charlie now. This is me, sometime in the early 80s. And this is me now. And this is us together. And here is our story. Charlie and I were introduced on a blind date on his parents' sailboat, a Catalina 38 named Freedom. So obviously we were destined for the sailing life, although we didn't know it at the time. We just knew that we were instantly attracted to each other. We went on a few dates, a picnic or two, he took me sailing a few times, and things progressed in the usual fashion. I knew I wanted to marry him the first moment I saw him, but he took a little more persuading. What finally did it for him was my Italian cooking. I started him with my grandma's spaghetti, moved on to lasagna, but the clincher was my famous eggplant parmesan. One bite of that, and he was history. I am notorious for being late everywhere I go, but I did get there eventually, and we did do the deed, and I've been leading him by the nose ever since. Just kidding. One of the first things we did after we got married was we bought a boat. This is Tyros, our 30-foot Catalina sailboat. We had many great times on Tyros, sailing her to places like Catalina and Dana Point, but I quickly learned that Charlie's favorite thing to do on the boat is sleep. I also learned that we share an enthusiasm for dressing up for Halloween. We came up with some pretty cool costumes, and we even won a couple of costume contests. Superman was obviously a recurring theme. And another thing we share is a passion for adventure. We do some pretty crazy things. Charlie's been riding motorcycles pretty much all of his life. This is Julia. We adopted Julia at birth, and what you're looking at here are the very first moments we set eyes on her. We knew we loved her from the moment we saw her, but back then adoption was a complicated process, and it's just not a sure thing until the papers are signed. Here we are, signing the papers.
On Juliet's pink slip day, she's saying, "Thank you for adopting me, Mommy and Daddy. I'm so happy to be here."
Julia.
That's what she said. Daddy's calling you.
Hi,
Julia.
Mommy.
Hi, everybody. And now we're celebrating. This is Pink Slip Day. And that's it.
Oh, look, she's cute. Oh, look how cute. Look, she's smiling.
Julia was a wonderful baby, and we felt so blessed to have her after all the pain we went through trying to have children, and ultimately we were able to adopt. We were so lucky. And this is our son, Dean. Yes, it happened again. Dean is actually the full biological brother of Julia. We were just incredibly blessed to get them both. And the next thing we knew, we had these big old kids, and a dog too. We knew we wanted to instill a love for nature in our children the same as we had. So from the time they were in diapers, we've been taking them camping. We bought this VW van again, which we took all over the western United States.
We're not going to swim in this place, but if it's okay with you, can we go to the river?
Maybe.
Okay, this place is junk.
You'll notice that a lot of our vacations involve jumping into water. Yank those shorts up. Crank those shorts up! Ah, Hawaii. That was one of our favorite vacations ever. And of course, Charlie, with his lifelong love affair with motorcycles, had to get the kids into it as well. And even Mom had to get in on the act. When the kids were little, we started taking them skiing. It took them a little while to figure out how to do it. But they did get better.
So Dean, where are we?
Mammoth.
Yes, Juliet, tell us where you are.
You can see right where the cemetery
I'm on a
is,
rock.
where the road turns.
No, where?
So his house is right there.
In Aspen,
There's that water
Colorado.
hazard where
Yeah, but where? What trail?
Uh,
That's right, you made it to the top of the Ute Trail.
you do something that is up.
She needs a few more scars.
Yeah.
We're trying to ugly her up a little.
Randall's running right down on
Joe, if you fall, land on your face.
Dad,
Oh, Rick.
That's so cool.
I'm disgusted now.
Where are we?
Oh, heck. I'm supposed to remember?
This is Jenny Lake.
Yes, we're on
This is the other side. We started way across on the other side.
And now they're grown-ups. Julia lives in Georgia and Dean lives in Arizona. So now what? We learned to scuba dive. I learned how to do underwater photography, and it's still a passion of mine, so here are a few of my favorite shots. Meanwhile, I took up running. I ran a few marathons and a few half marathons and a couple other races. Charlie still has his love affair with motorcycles going on, and he goes to some pretty cool places with his motorcycle buddies. And we're still known to do a few crazy things, like ziplining in Costa Rica. We still get out and ski occasionally, and then for our 30th anniversary, we went to Bali and had our vows renewed. You may be wondering whatever happened to Tyros, the boat we bought right after we got married. Well, we sold her after the kids came along. And it wasn't until they were grown up that we finally got back into sailing, but boy, we did in a big way. First, we bought a 27-foot pocket cruiser, and then we upgraded to a 36-foot Islander. Meanwhile, Charlie started doing local racing on a friend's boat, and then he did Transpac, which is a world-famous race from LA to Hawaii. That was a very eventful trip. I could make a video just of that whole trip. A few years ago, we were invited by friends to do the Baja Haha with them on their boat Sequester, and we had such a good time that we knew for sure that cruising was our future. So this is Juliet, our Mason 44 cutter-rigged sloop. She is a true blue water cruiser, and she is going to take us on the adventure of a lifetime. We've been preparing for years now, and I can't believe it's almost here. We're deep in the throes of moving out of our house in Thousand Oaks, which we will lease out while we're gone. We should be fully moved onto the boat within the next few weeks. We're both retiring at the end of the summer, and then we'll cut the dock lines. And this is our little dog Bubba, and yes, he's coming with us. So this is us today. We're a little older, a little grayer, a little more grizzled, but we still share that passion for adventure that we found so many years ago. I'm sure we've confused a few people by saying we're sailing around the world. But what are we really doing? Okay, let's get to it. First, let me say that this is all flexible, but this is our rough plan. Our boat is currently in Channel Islands Harbor, Oxnard. In October, we're heading south to San Diego, where we will meet up with the Baja Haha fleet. The Haha starts on November 3rd and will sail down the coast of Mexico to Cabo San Lucas. From there, the Haha fleet will scatter, many returning home, but will continue on south, stopping at various anchorages and occasionally a marina or two. We hope to make it all the way down to Zihuatanejo, where we'll enjoy the tropics for a while until it's time to head north in preparation for hurricane season. We'll sail up into the Sea of Cortez, eventually ending at Guaymas, where we'll have the boat hauled out for the summer hurricane season. At that point, we'll leave the boat and fly to Costa Rica, where we plan on spending some time with our friends Sandy and Bill, who live there. After hitting them up for a while, we'll fly to San Miguel de Allende, a lovely colonial city in the mountains of Mexico with a lively expat community, where we'll probably get an Airbnb for a few weeks. Once the hurricane season is over, it's back to the boat, where we plan on doing the whole thing all over again, except this time, instead of hauling out for the summer, we're going to cross the ocean. We'll join the fleet doing the Pacific Puddle Jump, which will be our longest passage from Mexico to the Marquesas Islands. From there, we'll make our way into French Polynesia, and then on to various other South Pacific islands and nations, eventually ending in Australia. At that point, we'll probably be about 4 years in, so we may just spend a year or so cruising around Australia. Or we may continue, who knows? Of course, all of this could change. If you really want to know, be sure to subscribe to our channel so you can follow our journey. In the end, we will let Juliet lead the way. You know, making this video has shown me just how many things have changed in my life over the years, but some things remain the same.